Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Willow's Weather Briefing. Today is Saturday, May 10th, 2025. Today, we have concerns of course, heat in the southwest to northern plains, as well as some excessive rainfall in the southeast and northeastern United States. We also have concerns of an upcoming severe weather event mid to late next week as well. You see here on satellite, we have this low pressure system just off the Gulf Coast right now, spinning up and bringing some of that Gulf moisture into the southeast. We're continuing to monitor this for flash flooding in this area. We also have the low pressure system in the northeast spinning as well, bringing some rainfall into New England. So looking at the surface map, we have two distinct low pressure systems, as we saw in satellite, one of which is in the southeast right now, bringing some of the Gulf moisture with those southerlies. And we also have a low pressure system bringing some Atlantic moisture up to New England. You also have a series of disturbances, upper level disturbances in the northeast, bringing some heavy snowfall into the higher elevations here in the Cascades. And we also have some rainfall and a possible severe weather threat in the northern Rockies. Looking at our excessive rainfall, we have a slight risk associated with that disturbance off the Gulf Coast. Since soils are pretty saturated in the southeast, we expect 3 to 5 inches, or up to 3 to 5 inches in 3 hours within the slight risk region, around 2 to 3 inches in 3 hours elsewhere in the southeast. Here in New England, around 1 to 1.5 inches per hour. Coastal regions could expect pockets of higher rainfall. Get back to that. Wasn't finished. So we also have a slight risk tomorrow in the southeast. This is where the rainfall event will get a little bit more widespread. Here, it's kind of a rinse and repeat. We have 2 to 4 inches in 3 hours within the slight risk region. Day 3, again, a slight risk of excessive rainfall throughout the East Coast, and, or rather, the mid-Atlantic to northern Florida part of the East Coast. We expect 2 to 3 inches to pockets 4 inches in 3 hours from areas of northern Georgia to southern Virginia, especially in those areas with lower flash flood guidances in the lee side of the Appalachians due to that upslope flow. We could see some flooding concerns there. And day 4, we have a slight risk of excessive rainfall as that low continues to push that Gulf moisture northward into central Virginia, down to northeastern North Carolina. And day 5, we have a marginal risk associated with the upcoming low pressure system and troughing. We're going to get possibly some excessive rainfall into the northern plains. Looking at our convective weather outlook, we have a marginal risk of severe weather across most of Florida, primarily the panhandles and central and northern Florida regions, mainly due to that upper level low and associated instability with that system. We also have a marginal risk in the northern Rockies region associated with a series of disturbances and enhanced belt of upper level flow, allowing for shear and moisture to impinge on the region. Mainly wind and hail threat, small tornado threat. Overall, pretty meager thunderstorms associated with the system. Again, the belt of upper level flow will migrate eastward in Montana, and we have the continuation of that closed upper level low bringing in continued moisture into the southeast and also aiding in the building of instability down there. Again, kind of a rinse and a repeat. We have associated wind and hail threats, pretty low tornado threat. Day 3, again, continuation of that upper level low will bring continuous training thunderstorms into the southeast regions. Looking at our extended range severe weather outlook, we actually do have a day 6 15% for portions of the mid-Mississippi River Valley up to the Great Lakes region, especially areas near Lake Michigan, mainly because of the upcoming troughing. We'll see sufficient upper level support alongside shear and moisture. The associated hazards with this event um, are still up to debate, but due to the position of the surface low, which should be around North Dakota around this time, I do suspect that this is mainly going to be a wind and hail threat for people in this region. But details are still pretty uncertain when it comes to this event. But we do expect some severe weather on day 6, which is Thursday. Thursday, May 15th. So let's go ahead and look at some of our model guidance here. We have that associated closed upper level low in the southeast, bringing some enhanced flow onshore into the Gulf Coast. This has been here for a while and will continue to bring rainfall associated with that Gulf transport of moisture. We also have this trough in the northeast associated with that nor'easter looking low pressure system, bringing continual moisture into New England. Also, that belt of enhanced flow aloft in Montana, bringing some snow in the higher elevations in the Cascades region, as well as severe weather across Montana. That belt of enhanced flow will migrate eastward and will bring some additional severe weather, or at least thunderstorms, into the Montana region. That upper level low in New England will migrate off the coast, and New England should get some nicer weather upcoming. But that upper level low in the southeast persists and continues to churn and bring Gulf moisture. We can see now this troughing that is going to occur across the western United States, which should give us some relief from the heat in the west, but will eventually bring a surface low pressure system, what we call cyclogenesis, off the lee side of the Rockies, and eventually migrate its way eastward and bring us some severe weather threats later into the week. Looking at precipitation type, you can kind of see the precipitation of New England sort of migrating off the northeast, but you see that continuation of moisture transport in the southeast continuing to bring flooding concerns to our areas down there. We also have associated belt of enhanced flow in the west, bringing some pretty impactful snow to the higher elevations here, though. There's not really many population centers in those areas, but we will see continued dreary conditions, scattered showers, and possibly some thunderstorms in the western regions, the northwestern regions, rather. And we will see continued moisture transport off the east coast associated with that upper level low. But then as we move forward, we can see that our low pressure system will sort of become into fruition as we get that troughing impinging on the Rockies, and we do see cyclogenesis. It seems like it's going to quickly migrate north, start sort of elongated due to the orientation of this trough, and make its way northward. Not really what we would like to see in a traditional severe weather setup, but the low-level support, the moisture, the instability, the amount of shear, because of that enhanced flow aloft, will be sufficient for at least some severe thunderstorms conducive of producing at least hail and wind in the midwestern regions associated with that slight risk on day 6. So looking at our extended range hazards, we still have those excessive heat outlooks for Texas, as I've stated in previous videos. Also that heat in the northern plains up here. We have, of course, those flooding concerns as well in the East Coast. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook: above average across the eastern United States, largely above average over here, and below average for most of the western U.S., except portions of the Central Valley of California. Precipitation outlook: mostly above average, associated with an active pattern across much of the U.S. Still, southern Florida below average, and northern California below average. Looking at our heat risk map, we have continuation of possibly record heat in the southwest here, well over 100 degrees here in areas such as the desert southwest, Riverside, California, Cathedral City, California, Yuma, Arizona, and Phoenix, Arizona. This heat will slowly migrate eastward and continue to impinge on Arizona and the rest of this desert southwest. Expect temperatures well above 100 degrees in these areas, which could reach record highs for this time of year. This heat will continue to migrate east, and starting on Monday, early next week, we do expect, actually starting on pretty much Sunday, the northern plains will get a great deal of heat, well above average. We're talking about 30 degrees above average for these folks here, such as Grand Forks, Bismarck, Minot, and North Dakota. Expect temperatures in the mid 90s up here in these regions, which is, yeah, as I said, well above average, about 30 degrees. Expect record highs in these areas. Mainly thanks to that upper level ridge. We will see a migration of a pretty hot air mass into areas such as Texas, and that continuation of heat in the northern plains as well. Continuing on, we have more heat in Texas. Of course, not unusual for these people, but fairly unusual for this time of year. Around 100 degrees widespread throughout areas such as Abilene, San Angelo, San Antonio, Midland, and of course the Rio Grande Valley. Continuation of heat, a bit widespread throughout the CONUS, but of course most concerning is the areas of Texas. Again, 100 degrees or higher down there. And again, on Friday next week, again, continuation of heat down in Texas. So that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you all for paying attention to this weather briefing. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And of course, if you want any additional local information, please refer to your local broadcast meteorologist or National Weather Service meteorologist for additional information. Thank you and have a great day.